In this time, we will study about software engineering. Learning object. Explain project planning, scheduling, monitoring, and reporting. Draw a project triangle that shows the relationship among project cost, scope, and time. Describe work breakdowns, structures, task patterns, and critical path analysis. Explain techniques for estimating task completion, times, and costs. Describe various scheduling tools, including Gantt chart and PERT or CPM chart. Analyze task dependencies, durations, and start dates and end dates. Describe project management software and how it can assist you. Finally, discuss the importance of managing project risks and why projects sometimes fail. Okay, let's read next slide. The overview of project. Successful project. Successful project must be complete on time, within budget, meet requirement, and satisfy users. Project triangles, cost, scope, and time. Usually, one of these is fixed, a budget cost cast in stone, an inflexible scope, a schedule fixed by factors beyond the firm's control. So, project manager's role, project manager's good leadership is essential. He is project planning. He identifies all project tasks and estimate the completion time and cost of each. And project scheduling manager create a specific timetable that shows tasks, task dependencies, and critical tasks that might delay the project. And guiding, supervising, and coordinating the project team's workload. Also, project manager create regular process reports to management, users, and the project team itself. First step. This step is create a work breakdown structure. We using a Gantt chart. Gantt chart developed by mechanical engineer and management consultant Harry L. Gantt almost 10 years ago. Gantt chart shows planned and actual progress on a project. This chart, time usually displayed on horizontal axis. Tasks shown on vertical axis. PERT CPM chart is the same tools. PERT meaning Program Evaluation Review Technique, developed by United States Navy to manage complex projects. CPM is critical path method, similar to PERT, developed by private industry. Identifying tasks in a work breakdown structure, or WBS, must clearly identify each task and include an estimated duration. A task or activity is any work that has a beginning and an end and requires the use of company resources, such as people, time, or money. Tasks are basic units of work that project manager plans, schedules, and monitors, so they should be relatively small and manageable. White blue color is event or milestone. Red color is tasks. We start on questionnaires. So prepare questionnaire. And question is approved. So distribute questionnaire. And then all questionnaires distributed, where sometimes await return of the questionnaires. All questionnaires returned. We are making a table of questionnaire responses. Tabulation complete. Prepare report on questionnaire results. Report is distributed to management. Listing the tasks, list all tasks, put task in order, add a description, decide how long each task is. Decide which tasks must go first, just like this picture. So we first work is estimating task durations. Tasks can be hours, days, or weeks. If tasks use days, the unit of measurement are called person days. A person day represents the work that one person can complete in one day. Therefore, factors affecting duration, project size, and human resources. Project size must identify all project tasks, from initial fact-finding to system implementation. How much time will be needed to perform each task? Allow time for meetings, project reviews, training, and any other factors that could affect the productivity of the development team. And then human resources is assemble and guide the development team that has the skill and experience to handle the project. Turnover, job vacancies, and escalating salaries in the technology sector. Displaying the work breakdown structure, experience with similar projects, develop time and cost estimates based on resources used for similar previously developed information systems. Use experience from project, that were developed in a different environment. Constraints are conditions, restrictions, and requirements that the system must satisfy. Define system requirements that can be achieved realistically within the required constraints. Second step is identifying task patterns. So, what are task patterns? Tasks depend on each other and must be performed in a sequence. Involve dependent tasks, multiple successor tasks, and multiple predecessor tasks. Next question, how do I use task boxes to create a model? Each section of task box contains important information about the task, including task name, task ID, task duration, task day or date, and the finish day or date. Here, task name should be brief and descriptive. Task ID can be a number or a code that provide unique identification. Task durations is amount of time it will take to complete a task. Start day or date is the time that the task is scheduled to begin. The finish date is that task is scheduled to be completed. And then we have a question that what are the main type of task patterns? First, dependent tasks. When task must be complete one after another, called dependent tasks because one depends on the other, similar to relay race. Prepare word outline, task is complete, and then create the document tasks. Multiple success tasks is when several tasks can start at the same time. Each is called a concurrent task. Often two or more concurrent tasks depend on a single prior task. This is called a predecessor task. Just like this picture. Last type is multiple predecessor tasks. When a task requires two or more prior tasks to be complete before it can start. And then, how do I identify task patterns? Words like then, when, or and action words signal a sequence of events. For example, do task 1, then do task 2. This describes dependent tasks that must be completed one after the other. Dependent tasks. When task 2 is finished, start 2 tasks. Task 3 and task 4 describes multiple successor. tasks. They can both start as soon as task 2 is finished. When task 5 and task 6 are done, and then start task 7. Indicates that task 7 is multiple predecessor tasks because it can start until 2 or more previous tasks are completed. Next slide. How do I work with complex task patterns? Study the facts very carefully to understand the logic and sequence. Schedule will be long if task patterns are incorrect. And third step is calculate the critical path. What is a critical path? A series of tasks which, if delayed, would affect the completion date of the overall project. If any task on the critical path falls behind the schedule, the entire project will be delayed. How do I calculate the critical path? Review patterns determine start and finish date, which will determine the critical path. First task, obtain authorization. This task ID is number 1. Duration time 10 days. And next to the task is higher analysis. Task ID is number 2. Task duration 30 days. And multiple success tasks, higher analysis task is a multiple success task. Task 5 and task 6 is multiple predecessor tasks. Finally, announced training is task ID number 5. Task duration is 30 days.